Okay, you want to, when you're converting a fraction to a decimal, you want to make the denominator, the bottom part, be a power of 10 if you can. But you can't turn a 40 into a 100 or a 1000. So you actually want to treat this as a division problem. 91 divided by 40, the top in, bottom out. Okay, well, we know that since they say as a decimal that we're probably going to have decimal answers, so I'm going to put a decimal, and I usually start off with 2 zeros. So when I divide this, I bring the decimal point straight up. 40 goes into 91 two times. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract 91, take away 80 is 11. Bring down the next 0. 40 goes into 110 two times. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 4 is 8. Subtract 110, take away 80 is 30. Bring down the next 0. 4 goes into 37 times. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 4 is 28. Subtract 300, take away 280 is 20. We don't have 0 here as a remainder, so we have to keep going. So I'm going to put a 0 up here so that I can bring it down here. Okay, 4 goes into 20 5 times. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 4 is 20. Subtract. Now we don't have a remainder, so now we are finished. So 2.275. So on the next one, I actually noticed that these can be divided by 3. So if you can simplify a fraction before you divide, it makes your life a lot easier. Okay? So 21 divided by 3 is 7, and 24 divided by 3 is 8. So I'm going to treat this as the fraction 7 over 8. So 7.00, I usually use 2 zeros to start out with, divided by the bottom number is outside, 8. Bring up your decimal point. 8 doesn't go into 7, so you can put a 0 there because it doesn't go in. 8 goes into 70 8 times. 8 times 8 is 64. 70 take away 64 is 6. Bring down your 0. 8 goes into 60 7 times. 7 times 8 is 56. 60 take away 56 is 4. Since that's not a 0, we have to keep adding zeros and keep going until we get a 0 as an answer. Okay, so bring that down, 40. 8 goes into 40 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40. Now since we have a 0 inside, we are finished. So 0.875. If you had done 21 divided by 4, you would have gotten the same answer if you did it correctly. However, it's a whole lot easier to work with 7 and 8. So that's totally up to you. If you want to simplify first, I do recommend it. This one can't be simplified. So I'm just going to write the numerator, the top part, with 2 zeros and divide it by the denominator. Bring your decimal up. 16 does not go into 13. 16 goes into 130. Well, I know it's not 10 because that's 169. Let's try 8. 8 times 6 is 48. Carry the 4. 8 times 1 is 8. Plus 4 is 12. I think I got lucky on that one. Okay, subtract. 130 take away 128 is 2. Bring down the 0. 16 goes into 20 one time. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. Subtract. 20 take away 16 is 4. You don't have a 0 yet on the bottom, so you have to keep going. Okay, 16 goes into 40 2 times. 2 times 16 is 32. Subtract 8. That's not 0, so you keep going. Add another 0 and bring it down. 16 goes into 85 times. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 1 is 5, plus the 3 is the 8. Now we have 0. So now we're finished. So 0.1825.